I would like to invite our first wonderful speaker with an 8 year of industry experience, Sai Santosh Thota. By gaining praiseworthy experience in revenue field, Sir is currently serving as a consultant in revenue management for Kuwait Airways. He has completed his undergrad in electronic engineering and has further achieved a postgrad in MBA in Aviation Management from our very own UPES. He has a vast knowledge in airline revenue management and airline forecasting technique, etc. and etc. Before serving into Kuwait Airways, Sir has served in Jet Airways, Air Costa Aviation, and last but not the least, GMR Hyderabad International Airport Limited in the field of revenue analyst, providing informative and interactive sessions in form of guest lectures as well as visiting faculty to various renowned universities. I would like Sai Santosh sir to give a head start to our guest lectures for eCarnival. Over to you, sir.
Hi everyone, very good morning. I'm so happy to see you all here. First of all, it's like I'm seeing myself some 8 years back. I was in the same position where we started Udaan, and I feel so proud today that we are like, I don't know, it's like goosebumps feeling for me, frankly speaking. And as Raju sir, sorry, is my internet fine? Can anyone help me?
Yes, sir.
It's fine,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. And it's like, seriously, it's like goosebumps. I think Bharti is also there. You can ask her like how we used to, we started Udaan, and now it's completely superb job, guys. It's too good. I feel so happy to see you all here with that zeal in you to me making aviation department a huge like what do you say, that happening place, I mean happening thing in the university. In fact, first of all, very good morning to everyone, all the respected faculty, Neeraj Anand sir, Karunakar sir, and I exactly don't know who else are there. I think Raju sir left just now, and everyone, thank you so much. And Bharti also, we were in the same class, in fact, me and Bharti. And it's good to see you all. It's nice. And subah 9 o'clock ko session, and I was the CR of my class. People used to scold me. I used to arrange classes around 8 o'clock in the morning. Hi Mohit sir, it's first time seeing you. Yeah, and people used to
Welcome,
scold
sir.
me. Yeah,
Welcome.
yeah. सुबह 8 बजे कौन रखता है यार क्लास ऐसे भी I used to have everything. Yeah. Sumit sir used to, beta, I want a class at morning 8 o'clock, please. I said, so I used to make sure that people used to come to class. So it was very good. UPS has completely changed our lives, like the exposure we get. And maybe it's I don't say it's not only exposure. The faculty who we get, you know what, we had guest lectures from the CEO of GMR also, like the industry experts who come to our faculty. I don't think so none of the campus in India will have that opportunity. In fact, we should feel lucky to study there, in fact. So, and also Udaan, tell something about Udaan. You don't know, it took around like 3 to 4 months for us to research, start, and how Nikhil sir, Raju sir, Neeraj Anand sir, and other marketing department at that time, and they have helped us and given us roots. Actually, in fact, what is a student forum and what are we going to do in it? And at that time, Udaan didn't had so many events as you guys are doing. In fact, we had Vimanotsav when we were there. In fact, I was a student convener for 2 years. I was the only student convener for Vimanotsav for 2 years. And it's really great job, guys. Keep your good work, and always have that link with that, I mean, that network with faculty and industry experts, and what are we actually doing, I mean, what's going on in the industry. and everything. You should have that complete connections everywhere, and so that it will help you out to have these so many have new events and everything as such. Yeah. And coming about today, it's when I got a call from Bharti and Neeraj sir, they told me like tell something about airline commercials. Yes, they have been going through so many airline commercial topics. I said, yeah, लोगों को bore हो जाएंगे. Hi Neeraj sir, how are you sir? And
Good to see you, Santosh.
Bharti said, hi sir. Yeah, Bharti. Yeah, thank you sir, thank you. And Neeraj sir said, that's okay. Any topic should be fine. Just get through some topics which you are used to, and also, if possible, something about the technology which is coming up. So today I'll be going through about planning, network planning, and few just because we got very less time as of now. I think I just got some 40 minutes from now. So I'll just go through what happens actually in route planning, and what was the evolvement in the technology, specifically in revenue management, what it all happened in the past and present and in future. And just a minute, let me get my presentation. Yeah, today we'll be speaking about airline network and evolvement of the airline network and technology in airline revenue management. And you all know how airline network planning is so important. And I wish it has to be an interactive session. Like whenever you have doubt or something, you can please stop and pause and ask me. I will also whatever I want it to be a kind of question and answer sessions. It should be interactive rather than morning boring session. Okay. So what is the present shortest route in India? Can anyone tell me? What is the present shortest route in India?
Guys, you can answer in the chat box.
Okay. No one to answer. What is the present shortest? That's okay. Yeah, even we were also not telling the right answers at that time. That's okay. Mumbai, Pune. Okay, good. Okay, it's an online session, so you can actually open a new tab and tell it, right? That's nice. We used to do so many things like this in our times. No, that's okay. It's good if you know it, but then it's nice, good. Yeah, Mumbai, Pune is one of the shortest route. I just want to ask you guys, is it really necessary for this sort of shortest route? Like, if you travel Mumbai to Pune by a bus or a car or something, it's just 4 to 5 hours journey. Is it really necessary for an airline to operate a 45-minute flight or a 35 minutes flight or something? Guys, please talk. I want it to be an interactive session. Anyone, or talk, or you can chat there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
Why is
basically,
it so necessary
especially for business travelers, I think it is important for a short flight, but just to business customers basically.
Yeah. That's right. That's good. But in fact, in December 2019, the shortest flight was Kannur to Calicut. You must be knowing. Most of you must be knowing the geography, right? Kannur,
Yes, sir.
Calicut, Kochi, and Trivandrum. All of the 4 international airports in Kerala. Okay, and the Kannur to
Kochi is in fact just 100 kilometers or 120 kilometers hardly. And in fact, the flight time is exactly 15 minutes. But then the flight time for the block time exactly, they made it, I mean, the schedule was made for 35 minutes. In fact, that is the shortest route which was planned actually. Now, I'm not sure if they're flying or not, but December schedule, I mean, the winter schedule of 2019-20, Kannur and Calicut was the shortest flight in India, actually. Now, before that, it was Mumbai Pune. Later, and now it is Mumbai Pune because I'm not sure if Kannur and this thing it's still operating or not because it's the shortest distance. And frankly speaking, Kannur and Kochi. Okay, Cochin and Kannur are like tier 2 cities. Okay, Cochin is an evolving city. Kannur is not even a it's a tier 2 city. Okay, think it's a tier 2 city because it's an international airport. Okay, so as you guys said, okay, it's not only for the business or industrial area or something. There are also evolving traffic for visiting, normal passengers, like the other market segment other than the business passengers. So that was one of the market which got evolved recently, which was actually good. In fact, there was one major reason for Kannur and Cochin to develop was Cochin didn't had major slots actually. I mean the international slots and all. So people getting connected, people who are above Kannur. Above Kannur is Mangalore airport. Okay, so people who are flying from Mangalore or from Kannur, nearby Kannur area, they used to go to Mangalore or Kochi downways to take an international flight. But now when Kannur has opened, people have come to Kannur. Okay, for these connecting traffic to connect to Mangalore and Cochin, this shortest route was developed. In fact, so it is not only business traffic. So that it's a huge that there is huge potential. This says there's a huge potential. You must be knowing this December 2019, December 19 had a huge difference actually, huge gap actually between the rise in the passenger demand when compared with the previous years, right? So this demand has, I mean, India has, in fact, 2020, India has to be the third largest market. And I think we are still in that level, even in the post-COVID time also. So, I mean, during COVID time. So it's like we are still developing. We are still developing. So it's good to know. Okay, it's good that you guys are actually on track. I was just checking. Okay, can anyone tell the longest route? Longest route?
Srinagar to Kanyakumari.
Kanyakumari में airport कहाँ है यार?
Sorry, Trivandrum.
Trivandrum. Is there a direct flight from Srinagar to Trivandrum? I was asking about the direct flight.
No, it's a connecting from Mumbai or Bangalore.
So it's Delhi
Delhi.
Delhi to
Via
Thiruvananthapuram.
Yeah. Delhi to
That's the longest
Thiruvananthapuram. And there is one more route as Delhi to Port Blair. Even that's around 4-hour block time. So even that's the longest route. And Delhi to, yeah, that's good. Guys, one thing is that you need to know all this. You need to know is like you have to get updated with all these of course you guys are there, that's good that you guys are getting updated with all these things. That's nice, good, very good. Today we will be going through like what's route planning and what all happens, I mean the objectives and what are stakeholders of route planning and the process which happens there, and capacity management and commercial planning, and about aviation technology, what was it before, and a little brainstorming if we have time. Yeah, route planning is basically defines an airline's product and network to be sold, right? What is an airline product basically, other than the airline product? What all we actually think is it's just a seat or something which we give, right? It always includes the route also. It always includes the route. The slot which we get, the time which we actually get. The slot, the time, the schedule of that particular flight of that route, and so many things involves in it other than seat, the comfort which you give to the passenger, and other remaining services like through the airport, and also after post. The post flight services which you provide, and during flight services which you provide, and the major part is the route. The timing or the schedule of that particular flight also is also the product, is what it's the most what you say, the critical and crucial product where an airline depends on. The total network has to be sold on it actually. Okay, and it is also about how do you optimize these routes. How do you optimize them, as in when you get like say if it's COVID time. Now we have, say for example, now in Kuwait Airways, what are we doing? So according to the capacity, we are according to the capacity as in if presently during the COVID time, we have the destinations which we fly. Every country has its own rule, like how many incoming passengers has to come, how many outgoing passengers, outgoing passengers has to go. So there are so many other restrictions as such. So at that particular time, the optimization of routes, on the capacity side, is for us. So how better and how profitable these routes are, how you can make them so profitable if you fly in one particular route. Okay, say maybe most of the Middle East carriers are not flying to India right now because of the situation, but then they are trying to fly to some other routes where there are no restrictions, as in say example as Turkey doesn't have any restrictions as of now. And there are many other political reasons also, like other areas like USA, Australia, and many other European countries. They have some, not only the COVID issues, but some political issues also between country to country. And all these things will actually, what do you say, influence on the routes which you fly. And furthermore, once after influencing these, this will influence your performance, right? Because as I said, this is the main major product. The route which you fly is actually the product which you fly in for one particular, for the airline. So that's how the network actually evolves at each component, and like it has to work with many teams constantly, like scheduling team and dispatch team, airport operations, and many other many other departments. Actually, the airline network management has to be always in contact. And it's in fact not, it's not like you prepare a schedule like 3 months or 4 months before the schedule gets published. But it is not only that particular thing, but then it is like daily process where the scheduling team works with the planning and the RM team and everyone, reservations team, and so many other things. So that's how the most important thing is profitability. How better the route is profitable, and what are the many other constraints which involves for the route to get more profitable, or maybe the route to get matured. Okay, so let me tell you one example. When I started my career with Air Costa, okay, so that's a startup airline that, and even I started my career with Air Costa. So we had a route between Vijayawada to Bangalore. Okay, Vijayawada, Bangalore to Coimbatore. And that was a one-hop flight via Bangalore to Coimbatore. So there was one airline other than Air Costa was Jet Airways, which was flying from Vijayawada to Coimbatore. That's a direct flight. But we had a one-hop flight, Vijayawada, Bangalore to Coimbatore. But then the timing which we had, Vijayawada, Bangalore to Coimbatore, was in the morning 7 o'clock. Okay, and they were at 10 o'clock in the afternoon, Jet Airways. So they were already established in that particular market, Vijayawada to Coimbatore. They were flying around past 1 year before we started, before Air Costa has started. But then after we started from Vijayawada to Bangalore to Coimbatore, by the time which we reached, the flight from Vijayawada to Bangalore to, the Air Costa's flight, it was reaching around 9:15 or something. So Okay, but then the flight of Jet Airways was reaching around like 11:30 or 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So as I said to you, the product here, the product is, you can see the comparison. Vijayawada, Bangalore, even if it's a one-hop flight, Air Costa's flight was in the morning 7 o'clock. The passenger was reaching at 9:15. So that was more convenient, right? Than the flight which is going in the afternoon for a business passenger. So Coimbatore was major textile industries. You must be knowing Coimbatore is a hub for the textile industries in the South India, like how we have Surat or something in North. So that for a business passenger, it was most important for us to reach on time. So that is how an airline product is being defined, as in how a route is most important as a product in an airline. Excuse me. Yeah. And yeah, and say one more example is I wanted to tell you this. So it was after 6 months after, I mean, the next schedule, Jet Airways has stopped its flight to Vijayawada Coimbatore. In fact, so so I feel successful in my first airline itself. For like it's not that it's not success or something, but then it has removed its one of the route as Vijayawada Coimbatore, because it was not getting more profits, because most of the traffic have been diverted to other airline. That's how you need to have, I mean, I'll be telling examples in the upcoming slides also. That's how like when we penetrate, you must be knowing that market penetrations, right? So when you penetrate into the market, you must also see that how better we can perform and what is the product which we are actually giving into the market. So we must be knowing, like, deregulation has helped most of the airlines to evolve into different. Deregulation, let it be worldwide or let it be a national wide also. How the publicly controlled airlines have been. The private airlines have changed the complete airspace. So then it has completely changed as market driven, as I told you, like small examples of these. And necessity for this, I mean, a proper route planning is like, because we know it's a perishable capacity, and we have variation in demand in different times, in different places, in different seasons, right? And because of that variation in demand, we have different variable in pricing also. And also we have this market segmentation. That is the reason this route planning has evolved, emerged in a great concept that every small key point, every point of road development has become a key, critical point for an airline to merge as a better product. Let it be a LCC or a FSC or a hybrid airline, or whatever the model is, the airline's model is. So that's how the road planning has become a major change. Of course, to say, if it's a normal person, like a normal passenger who doesn't have an airline experience, a flying experience or something, he first checks, like, which is the airline flying, which which routes are, if you want to fly in some one particular route, he'll get into some portal and just check, right? So it is not there. He will know, like how the market is playing, right? So that's how the market, the market plays a major important role for us to develop a route. Okay. Yeah. And another performance drivers are like how better we are actually performing in some particular route. Say maybe you must be knowing there were around like 70 frequencies last year between Delhi to Mumbai a day. Delhi to Mumbai a day was 70 frequencies almost. So you just imagine how the demand for business, it's not only business passengers, so how demand in some routes are there. So if a route to get matured, a route to get matured and profitable, it will take so much time. It will take years, in fact, years, at least 2 to 3 years for a passenger to know that, okay, there is a flight in this particular route. say, as I told you, one example of Air Costa, only I want to repeat the same. Vijayawada Bangalore was one of the good routes. Air Costa, in fact, let me tell you about all the routes. In Air Costa, it's a kind of hybrid airline. It actually started with an an LCC. I mean, it's a regional airline basically of Andhra Pradesh. It was a hybrid product because it was using Embraer 170s and E190s. It had some business class also in the front. I mean, it's a kind of premier economy maybe. So it had some 6 seats of business. I mean, premier economy, and it's a kind of hybrid product basically. So it had started with tier 2 cities connecting with the South Indian tier 1 cities like Bangalore to Ahmedabad, Chennai to Jaipur, Chennai, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Jaipur, and these were like monopolistic routes when we started. Okay, and Vijayawada, Bangalore, and all these like monopoly routes when we started. And slowly, year by year, when we have seen changes, I mean, the development in the demand. Okay, so as I told you, one example, like why I had to tell this thing was passenger to know that particular route, okay, has been operated by an airline. Okay, he'll get into some portal, he will check some flights. I mean, some airline is operating these flights. Okay, so sometimes like for the low cost airlines and all, sometimes okay, passenger will think, okay, this is Air Costa flight. Okay, we don't know, this is a small, of course that airline is not there, and all the LCCs have been, like most of the regional airlines we have seen, Air Carnival, Air Costa, like Air Pegasus, many have been closed. But passengers had this bad impression in the starting. Okay, will these aircrafts fly? Oh, ye chota aircraft hai, isme seriously do we go or not? And people in the starting, even passengers will actually are not really, they are like kind of reluctant to travel in these roads actually. So later, when they used to fly from Vijayawada to Delhi and Delhi to Bangalore, or Vijayawada to Hyderabad, or sorry, not Hyderabad, Vijayawada to Mumbai, or Mumbai to Bangalore, something like that. They used to fly long routes and go. But then after a year or so, you can see that complete change in the route. We used to not have a single. It's the same with every other market which we started in that airline. I mean, when we were in Air Costa, and you know what? After we started those routes, SpiceJet, Indigo has come in those same routes after we developed that market. After that airline has developed that market, then Indigo and other airlines have started evolving. I mean, in those routes also. So, and also, if that's how we will be knowing how in the market we have been evolved, and like how better we are performing. Okay, that's how the route of profitability will tell us, like, okay, we are really good in this route. Okay, once you get this route profitability, then we will think over if we have to increase that frequency. I've been telling you, right? So how better the demand is, then we can increase that frequency. But then the market will also play a major role when we increase the increase the frequencies. So that time your yield might drop when you have increased the frequencies. So there are so many other major constraints, like how better you need to strategize your routes, like maybe planning a route, a longer route with Airbus, 320 or a 737 Max or something, or planning a shorter route with a A320 is a big experiment. Like it is not really, feasible start if it's a new route or something. It is not really feasible for you to start with an A320. Are you really sure? Like 1 hour flight, if it's a 1 hour flight or something, that means Mumbai to Pune, until unless it's a very, or if it's in the afternoon flight, are we really sure passengers are going to fly an A320 with a 180 seater? No, we are not, because that is how an airline product. The route planning has become a major important role as an airline product for us to decide a route. A route, a time, a slot, and the fleet. What is the proper fleet you have to plan for the particular route. So the route planning has become. It's the major product which actually involves in airline development. So it's like you must be knowing, it's like only like okay, according to the roads only we fly, right? So that's how it is. So let's go for this next slide. It's like what are the objectives in road planning? Identifying the best routes. So as I said, you like maybe starting a new route. Okay, so can anyone tell, like, if you're starting a new route, what are the sorry, I got a question here. In A is B is a Dreamliner is future for long haul flights, keeping its fuel efficiency in mind. Uh, should airlines give orders for specific craft in bulk? Yeah, it could be future long haul flights. It's right. But then, as I told you, it is not necessary that when you plan a route, it is not necessary that every flight, I mean, every route which you fly will be with only the same line. Okay, when your fleet is with different kind of aircrafts, only then you can see that that's basically a strategy. You have to strategize with which route has to be flown with which aircraft. Or it could be, say, an example of Mumbai Pune. I can tell you, Mumbai Pune, you have major traffic on Monday morning, or leave out Mumbai Pune, okay, Mumbai to Bangalore, Mumbai to Delhi, or most of the major metro cities in India. So if you see, in the morning and evening flights are always full, okay, and the weekend flights are always full because you have major demand for business traffic, or it could be, I mean, a major demand for business traffic, and many other segments are will also fly. Okay, so these flights will definitely do profitable with bigger aircrafts. Okay, so think about Mumbai Pune. It's just 1 hour flight hardly. And if you're having a morning flight, that's good. Okay, Mumbai Pune morning 8 a.m. flight or a 7:30 a.m. flight. Okay, you'll reach in 1 hour. You'll go and come back. A day return flight, basically. If you have a day return flight, it's very good. It will do very good. But then at that particular road, flying an A320 on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, even in the morning flight also, is really experimental. Frankly speaking, it's really experimental because we don't know what, like, you must be knowing. We all are actually living in this uncertainty world where whatever happens in world, first strike happens for the first hit is for airlines, our industry, right? So in the normal times also, we don't know what, in the normal days, as in weekdays, we really don't know how the demand is going to fluctuate, right? So in normal days, we might be flying a smaller aircraft like a ATR or a Bombardier or something like that. But then in like Mondays, Fridays, and all these days, we will be definitely flying a A320 because according to the demand. So that's how it is. Aircraft plays a major role when you actually. That's how you need to strategize your road. How are you going to fly in this road, and what how are you going to fly in this route, and what is that timing which you're getting in that route, etc. Many things. So how do we actually identify best routes? Okay, if you want to fly some new route, okay, Kanpur or Lucknow. Okay, Lucknow is a title city, like Kanpur or Udaipur or Nagpur, or these are smaller, I mean, tier 2, tier 3 cities. They come under these tier 2, tier 3 cities like Mysore, Tirupati, and Vishakhapatnam, and all these things. Like, how do you actually think, like, okay, they're the best route to fly? How do you think that what is that major drive which influences you to start a route in that particular route, I mean in that particular origin destination? Can anyone tell?
Tourism, maybe tourism, or
Okay.
the passenger, walking passengers, like the traveling passengers, if there are many.
Yeah. You're right. Good. Well, that's one of the major point. Yeah, tourism is one of the this thing. But then, okay, in India, most of the places have so many tourist spots. Okay, that's good. So tourism is one of the major reason where if you want to start a new flight or something, and the industries, like say, as I told you, like textile industries, it's like Surat and Coimbatore and all these places, you have most of the textile industries. And say maybe IT hubs like Bangalore, Hyderabad, Delhi, and all these things. Like say pharmaceutical hub, Hyderabad, Chennai, and all these things. So that's how you will take, like, of course, the GDP growth of that particular place, and the tourism, and so many other things, like say maybe pilgrimage place like Tirupati, Tirunanthapuram, and Udaipur, like all these things, all these places, basically, you have, when you have that tourism demand, so you will fly there. So maybe one example I want to tell you, so we have winter destinations, okay, for international flights. I mean, for international airlines like Emirates and all these things, they have these winter destinations. So in the winter destinations, like, they specifically fly only in one particular days. We don't fly daily also. So according to the season demand, and according to the season, day of week, and so many other constraints, we take care for to fly a particular route. Okay, and we see, of course, the data plays a major role, how better we were flying, and what is the market which is already there in that particular route, and what are the other major transport facilities. So if you're flying Europe from Middle East, and sometimes like or within Europe also, most of the European airlines check, and sometimes they check with trains which they have, which are available. I mean, the land transport facilities which they have in Europe. So that's how even demand fluctuates, like how the airlines have been influenced to plan a route, actually. Okay, so we should identify those best routes. So are the huge impact on LCCs with respect to the route of operations they choose? Are the huge impact? Yeah, LCCs. In fact, LCCs give major impact on FSCs. Not LCCs will not get affected at all. In fact, frankly speaking, because say maybe the routes. Daily commuters would also play a role in areas you mentioned. Yes, you're right. Yeah, in fact, LCCs play a major role on impacting on the FSC. Say one example, as I told you, Vijayawada to Coimbatore, Air Costa was giving a better product and also better fare. In fact, okay, so that was also one major impact on Jet Airways to remove its route on that particular Vijayawada Coimbatore. I can tell you one more example. There is one route when I was in Jet Airways, it was from Mangalore to Bangalore, and there was one more route, Jaipur to Ahmedabad. Okay, Jaipur to Ahmedabad and Bangalore to Mangalore is hardly 1 hour flight. Okay, maximum was 1 hour 10 minutes block time, Jaipur Ahmedabad. Okay, and Bangalore was to 45 minutes. Okay, in Jaipur Ahmedabad, and both of these routes, Jet Airways was flying 80 hours. So ATR is a 72-seater, and Mangalore, we had 4 frequencies, and Jaipur Ahmedabad 2 frequencies. Okay, in the same routes, all of a sudden, Indigo, it has increased its capacity in 2015-16. It has a major change in its capacity. Okay, it has, it has it has developed its capacity. I mean, the fleet change. There was a fleet change in their in their fleet. They got into ATRs, and of course everywhere they were having they were having only one kind of fleet till then. Okay, later according to the Udaan scheme, they got into ATRs and all. So then in these smaller routes of 1 hour flight of 72 seaters, Indigo has scheduled Jaipur Ahmedabad was 2 frequencies, and Bangalore was 3 frequencies with A320. So just imagine 4 flights with 72 seaters, 4 into 4 sevens, 280 passengers per day. Okay, and SpiceJet was having 2 frequencies. That was also Q400s, Bombardier Q400s. That was also 70 seaters. So 140 plus 280 is 380, 420 seats per day. Okay, but Indigo all of a sudden has scheduled 3 180 seaters. 3 180 seaters. Okay, that's a major. That's almost 130%, 140% change increase in the capacity in that particular route. So just imagine how the demand will fluctuate, and it will completely go down. The demand will completely change. Like, okay, because Indigo has major capacity there, and it might start it will definitely start its fare with very less fare, like 1500, 1800, and we had a very good average fare of 3000 rupees or something. So definitely it will completely change the market and completely change the it will completely change the demand there. So there, when you actually, of course, that will definitely not make profit for Indigo also in that particular route, because it was flying A320 in different timings, in 3 different timings. Okay, morning, afternoon, and evening. Maybe morning and evening because they are the day return flights. It might be profitable in the good days of week, right? But in the afternoon flight, it's definitely is a loss-making flight. So that's how you need to check. When you analyze the season and the traditional, the season and the flow of demand, when we analyze the data of the past and the market which we actually have, it will definitely impact the other airlines also when you're planning a route. So as I told you, so then Jet Airways had to remove its 2 frequencies. Out of 4, it was only flying as frequency. So that's how LCCs actually in India, Indigo has played a major role. Actually, Jet Airways also had a major impact by Indigo also. Like most of the ATR rules have been it had a major impact by Indigo, in fact. So it could be it can be a healthy this thing. It's in fact a healthy this thing. It's not that it's rivals or something, but then it's in fact a healthy this thing. Maybe that time Jet Airways could have planned for a A320 in the morning and evening, a day return flight in these routes, because it had a major demand. Okay, so that's how we need to, like, that's how we plan so much like in road planning and so many other things, like how it has a major impact actually. So providing robust connections, like how it has developed we have developed hubs, like all the metros are hubs now for all the airlines, like from metros, like from tier 2 cities. Once after the Udaan scheme has developed, the tier 2 cities has played a major role, in fact, developing as hubs. And the road planning has it works as a decision support for scheduling, revenue management, and fleet management. And even the type of product or the model, the airline which the airline is flying, like FSC like Vistara, Jet Airways, or FSC like Indigo, SpiceJet, or a regional carriers like Air Pegasus, or all these things. So that's how the route planning plays a major. So in stakeholders are like scheduling team, the crew scheduling team. So when you plan a route, the other stakeholders who comes under road planning are crew scheduling, which plays a major role. The operations team, basically, operations team includes the pilots also, and the crew scheduling team, the air hostesses and everything. And you need to make sure that there is also the AOG plans also. Sometimes when the aircraft is on ground, you need to plan for those things also. Like say Hyderabad airport has an MRO in, right? So if the aircraft had some trouble, if there is a problem or something happens, all of a sudden a technical issue with an aircraft, so road planner has to think so much in all those things and so many other constraints like that as such. So because if the aircraft is on ground, that will give a major operational loss. It's a major operational cost, and that will definitely, if the aircraft is on ground, we're not going to fly, and there is no money coming in. So that's how it is. And airport operations play a major role, and dispatch and operation control center. Operation control center plays a major role in the daily activities of the schedule, and the dispatch team also plays a major role in how better the turnaround time of the aircraft when the aircraft is on ground after the block time, how better the turnaround time, how better on time we are performing to maintain that turnaround time. And the network type, as I told you, that you all must be knowing that hub and spoke model, point to point model, or is it a hybrid model, like you are making like a 3-leg flights or something like that. So we will be following the route dispersal guidelines, and the schedule plays a major role. The flight number has to match the OND, the day of week, the timings, the type of aircraft you are using in that particular route, the block time, the ground time, how much time, because getting an airport slot is really so tough. Getting an airport slot is really so tough. So before every schedule of winter schedule or summer schedule, we have this airport slot meeting where airlines all together negotiate together, and also with the airports, they negotiate and get the slots. So that's how the ground time is also so important for us. And the AOG plan, as I told you, and the maintenance plan when the aircraft is on ground, and so many other things comes under for the road planning. Yeah. So let me wind up so fast, so that I think we have so many other sessions coming up actually, and I think maybe in future I can take a deep dive session about planning and this thing when we have good time in future. So this is basically the process where we actually do its competition mapping. What are all the different airlines like which are flying in those particular markets, and the market knowledge, customer profiling, like what sort of demography, I mean, what is that customers who can fly from that particular route, I mean that particular place, that destination or something. And then economic evaluation, like how better we can perform in that route, and then review everything dynamically. So that's how we actually plan a route. The process happens. And capacity planning plays a major role in our commercial department, or whatever the commercial aspects of the airline. So the strategic planning, it starts before three years, or this is like 3 years to 1 year before the airline actually operates in that particular route. So before 1 year, it will schedule that, where we go for the slots and we schedule it, and then we do that revenue management starts 1 year before. This is actually same for every airline, in fact, worldwide. And then in the last minute comes the dynamic pricing, or dynamic that seat allocation, dynamic airline operation, schedule operations. And let me go into the technology. I'll definitely take a good session about planning, and in future, whenever we get time, I'll definitely take a deep dive session about network planning and how do we actually do scheduling and everything. We can have a very good session in future. And coming to the technology, we all know like how we have emerged in technology. Like say specifically when I tell about RM, revenue management, it's been almost 20 years. We have seen so much change in technology. The complete manual process to just give me 5 minutes, guys. I'll just wind up with this technology, how better we have been evolved, then we can wrap up the session. Okay. Yeah. So how better the manual process like ticketing agents were used, and then there was a development in GDS, the global distribution system, and then the deregulation happened where the pricing played a major role, and how dynamically we have been improving ourselves in day to day in revenue management. And then comes the departure control system, like how better after that is basically the post I mean, post ticketing time or the reservations time, like how the post flight and the pre flight, how better the departure control system plays a major role in technology. And yeah, right now we have Pros, Sabre, Emidius are the major three systems which are actually ruling the whole airline industry right now. They have the major stake of using the revenue management system, or the and next comes the revenue integrity. Revenue integrity have been developed so good by these products like Sabre, Emidius. They have very good revenue integrity system where we can actually develop. So I mean, we can actually check out like how many fictitious bookings and so many other things. Like I'll be telling them in future. And future is completely with like big data and artificial intelligence in RM, and blockchain, robotics, and so many technologies are coming up. And yeah, I thought we'll have a brainstorm session. Okay, we can have it in future when we have the session. So love is always in the fair air. Actually, I say it's fair. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you so much, and I thank university so much, all the faculty here and everyone for giving me this opportunity. And I wish I have more time, but of course I know it's very short time. And yeah, guys, always keep rocking and make us all proud that yeah, we started Udaan, and now I feel so proud actually. Now it's a kind of goosebumps, as I told you. It's too good, guys. You keep rocking. Okay, always make sure aviation is always on. It's a major happening department in our campus. In fact,
Thank you so much, sir. It was really a wonderful session.
yeah. Thanks. Thank
So,
you so
sir,
much.
we can take yeah. Sir, we can take Q&A through mail, sir, as we
Yeah,
are.
yeah, definitely.
Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
sorry, I haven't seen the remaining
Yeah, no problem, sir.
questions. You can send it through email. I'll definitely reply it. Yeah,
Thank you,
okay.
sir.
Thank you, guys.